Greetings. Welcome to Conshila, a podcast where we provide you financial information in plain English or Marathi. Thank you for the listening and do subscribe. For starters, the rule seems to focus on all things you can't do, as opposed to explicitly stating that what you can. For instance, you cannot fly a drone without a remote pilot license, and you cannot get the said license if you're younger than 18. Also, you can't fly your drones near international borders, and you most certainly can't fly them above a certain height. And if you are Indian, then you can't fly drones here, period. Outside of this, you also have to steer clear of airports, other restricted spaces, and military installations. The rules even go on to state that the drones cannot be used to wage war against the government of India. So yeah, a lot of things you can't do. And if you still did them anyway, then you might have to pay a fine, ranging anywhere between 25,000 to 5 lakhs. Sure, some of these rules are understandable and perhaps even deemed necessary, but there are other restrictions that leave you scratching your head a bit. For instance, the rules mandate that drones can't carry any kind of payload. They also prohibit drones from operating beyond the visual line of sight, meaning the drone operator must at all times be able to visually identify his or her drone from a distance. This is slightly problematic because many institutions have been trying to use drones to deliver foods, medicines, and all sort of things. For example, Zomato, the food delivery company, even went on to conduct a successful test where they had a drone payloads weigh 5 kgs. And while it's quite possible that the government might soon carve exemption for certain cases, the rules don't make any mention of them right now. And look, these regulations don't just apply to consumers, it also applies to the production side. If you're a manufacturer, importer, or trader dabbling with the unmanned aircraft systems, then you will need a formal authorization certificate from the Director General of Civil Aviation, or usually known as DGCA. How do you obtain one, might ask? Well, you pay a fine of 10,000 and hope the government comes through. Once you get hands on the certificate, you are expected to pay more money and make sure your prototype fits the bill. You will have to test your equipment in a government-authorized lab under the supervision of a licensed remote pilot. And if the results are deemed satisfactory, then a DGCA might extend a certificate that allows you to manufacture these drones. And unless these drones weigh less than 2 kgs, then the DGCA also mandates that they carry a specific list of parts that include global navigation satellite systems, flight controllers, secondary surveillance radar transponders, barometric equipments for remote subscale setting, geofencing capabilities, among others. What about the drones weighing less than 2 kgs, you ask? Well, they still expect to carry some of these parts, but the list is not that strict. Bottom line, this mandatory list will likely push the prices of drones higher across the board, and there isn't a single thing you can do about it. In fact, there has been an awesome article from the Awesomeness Notes for a hobbyist. However, the higher prices point for a beginner drone will not be the only barrier to entry. To fly any drone weighing more than 250 grams for recreational purposes, you are required to undergo a week-long training program costing upward 25,000. 2 separate pilot permit applications needs to be submitted to DGCA, first as a student and then after the completion of the training as an operator. 2 other applications must be submitted to get both the drone and the drone owner registered with the authorities. So yeah, the incumbents aren't really exactly pleased with these developments, and hopefully now you know why. Thank you for listening to my podcast.